Fast Signs family. This week's installment is called Chasing Away the COVID Blues. A recent study by the Kaiser Family Foundation says that 45% of adults feel worried and stressed because of the pandemic and the economic uncertainty. I mean, that's a huge amount. 45% not feeling great, 45% suffering from the COVID blues. So we're going to talk about 15 practical tips that you can implement to help chase away the COVID blues, to work on your emotional health and your emotional balance so that you feel better, so that you're happier, so that you're more content, so you can be a better father, you can be a better mother, you can be a better brother, you can be a better sister, you can be a better boss, you can be a better coworker. So that's what this is all about. So I've gathered these 15 tips from a podcast with Tony Robbins, reading a recent article from Harvard Business Review on overcoming the COVID blues, and even something I recently got from one of the many quotes that come in to me from everything I've ever signed up for and subscribed to. So let's talk about 15 practical things you can do to chase away the COVID blues. Number one, practice quiet and calm. There is so much frenzy and bad news. Just take 10 minutes here and there, a couple times a day. Sit quietly. Get away from the hubbub. Practice deep breathing. Think about quiet. Think about calm. You know, one of the quotes in Inspiration Hall is calmness is power, and that is really, really true, especially in times of big, big stress. So that's number one, practice quiet and calm. Number two, have a mantra or self-talk. I can handle this. I can handle this. Keep practicing in your mind, I can handle this. And then when something happens, you can come back to that mantra and say, I can handle this. And this could be as simple as you're driving to the grocery store, you need to get back because something's happening family-wise, or you got to get to the office this particular day and you overslept, and the person in front of you is driving more slowly than you are. You could get angry, or you could say to the mantra, I can handle this. That person just doesn't need to be in as much as a rush as I am. That's okay. I can handle this without getting upset. I really like that mantra, I can handle this, and I've been using it a lot lately. Number three, focus on the here and now. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry what's going to happen in 3 months, what's going to happen in 18 months. I just don't know. I don't know. Instead, focus on the here and now. That's all about being intentional, and it's about being present. And some of those things we can do focusing on today: eat to nourish our bodies, get some sleep to replenish our souls and our energy, get some exercise to keep our body in tip-top shape, apply myself to my emotional health. All of that is about being in the here and in the now and not worrying about the future. Number four, make time for introspection. Anytime we look at ourselves, take stock of what's going on in our lives, and look for ways to improve is going to lead to growth. So, have you let an important relationship languish? Has your work product been reflecting your values? If you're not doing as good as you should be doing, that introspection is going to help you identify where you can improve. So whenever we focus our energy on our strengths, being the best mom, being the best dad, being the best boss, being the best graphic designer, whatever it is, when we can focus on those strengths, that gives us a feeling of confidence, a feeling of power, a feeling of just positivity, because we know we're working in those positive ways. Number five, tap into your inner curiosity and tap into that desire to learn. You've heard me talk in Connect with Catherine's and in other videos about sharpening the saw, sharpening the axe, getting our game better. And so part of this is setting aside time to do so. And so make a list of what you'd like to learn, and it doesn't all have to be business stuff. Yeah, maybe you want to learn how to be better at cash flow management, or you want to be better at understanding how to read a financial statement, or better at sales management skills. But this could also be something like learning to play the piano, or learning to speak a different language, or learning to play guitar. Anytime we learn something, even if we learn something small, it gives us a sense of accomplishment, a sense of mastery, a sense of pleasure, a sense of being powerful. So that can work for you very, very well. Idea number 6, schedule time in the day for all the things you want to do. If you were to look at Ron Herbert's calendar, our CFO today, you'd see a block of time set aside that's called work on board meeting slides. And if you were to look at Mark Jameson's calendar today, you'd see a block of time set aside to call franchisees to be on a specific panel, right? It's about setting time, but I also set time personally and think that you ought to do the same. I have time on my calendar now most evenings after work from 6:30 to 7:30 to go outside and walk, because I'm scheduling time with myself. That's part of my self-care. So very important to schedule time and then stick to that schedule. Number 7, focus on important projects. It's real easy to make a to-do list of all kinds of urgent stuff and get that done, and that's a good thing. Every time we cross something off our list, we get a feeling of mastery, a feeling of confidence, a feeling that that's one less thing to worry about. But we probably all have some big goals, some big projects, something we have to work on. And if we could block some time every other day, or block 3 hours on Monday and 2 hours on Thursday, to focus on that big project. And then we know we're tackling those big important rocks, those big important goals in our deal. So that's really, really helpful to also help that mind feel less stressed out about this big looming project that we have to get done. Number 8, gracefully bow out of unnecessary or extraneous activities. Now, I have some friends who work for big corporations and their bosses are trying to be really wonderful, and they're scheduling virtual happy hours for the team and virtual lunch hours. And if that's not too frequently, and if it's something you want to do, it's great to participate. But the flip side, if it becomes something you have to do week in and week out, there's an exhaustion level. And part of what we need to learn through this time to chase away the COVID blues is self-care. And part of that self-care is not stretching ourselves so thin. I have a group, actually 3 different groups of friends that since this thing started, I've been having weekly video calls with. And there's been one group of friends, and this happens to be one that someone else has set up rather than me setting up, because if you don't show for the one you've set up, nobody gets to be on it. But where I've just said, you know, I just can't tonight. I just need alone time. I need quiet time. Even these are friends that I love. I just need to just tell myself, be quiet. It's okay. So gracefully bow out of those things that are extraneous and that just gives you a little breathing room. Number 9, take time off if you can. Now, if you don't have vacation accrued or that's not possible, that time off could be 3 hours to go sit by the lake and read a book, or sit in your backyard and just enjoy the birds. It doesn't necessarily have to be some big, amazing trip. It's just some time for yourself or for you and your family. It's a 3-hour or an 8-hour or a 1-day or a long weekend, if you will, mini staycation, mini mental health vacation. Number 10, build in mini 10-minute, 15-minute mental health breaks during the day. Work a long day, that's great, that's fine. We all got to do that. As business owners, we absolutely have to do that. But if at 10 o'clock or 10:30, we can just take 10 minutes and walk around the parking lot or around the building, or go to a quiet space, or even to our car and have a cup of coffee while FaceTiming somebody we really, really love, a good friend, somebody we haven't talked to in a while. But just little 10-minute breaks to completely get your mind off of work, get your mind off everything else, just for yourself. Number 11. Put those you love first. Put your family first. Put those people that you love first. Very, very important. Making that time to connect meaningfully with family and friends will give your spirit a positive, uplifting thing. Now, there's all kinds of research on hugging. And if you've got your family at home with you, hugs are very, very powerful. In fact, a 20-second hug, and 20 seconds may seem like a long time, but all the research shows to get that blast of oxytocin, the love hormone, that positive feeling hormone, takes 20 seconds. So if you've got your family at home, you got your kids at home, you got your significant other at home, every day Give them a big, wonderful, at least 20-second hug. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make them feel better. There's going to be this release of oxytocin. It's physical. It happens. It's beneficial. Now, if you're like me and you live alone, it's kind of hard to hug yourself. I've tried. At least I'm not very good at it. But what you can do is you can have eye contact with somebody, and that's where these Zoom conference calls or video conferences are, or FaceTiming, and even there's research that shows that eye contact releases oxytocin, which makes you feel better. So thinking about putting that family and loved one first and giving big hugs and eye contact and all that kind of stuff. Now, the flip side of that is there's all kinds of research that shows spending a lot of time on social media is bad for your mental health, even pre-COVID. It's those folks that are spending 6 hours a day on Facebook and all that stuff, and they're seeing happy pictures. Nobody ever puts sad pictures on Facebook, and you're thinking, God, that person's happy, and that person's happy, and that person's happy. That's not good. So we're trying to take care of our mental health. We're trying to chase away the COVID blues, limit social media to 30 minutes a day. It will do your emotional being a lot of positivity. It'll be really, really helpful. Number 12, continue your rituals and think about adding new rituals. So what might be a ritual? Well, if you've got young children at home, it is bedtime, and it's sitting on the edge of their bed and reading them 2 stories. Don't stop. Keep doing that. Keep that ritual going. Or create new rituals. I've seen a lot of new rituals in my neighborhood now that I'm taking walks all the time. I'm seeing whole families out for walks. I'm seeing dad and mom sitting out in the front yard in lawn chairs while their kids are playing and taking pastel colored chalk and writing on the sidewalks, right? But I see them there night after night after night. It's a new ritual, bringing a strength and bond to the family. So think about creating those familiar rituals and reinforcing them. Number 13, share your time and share your money with others. Now, I understand that taking the whole family on the trip to Europe is probably not going to happen right now, but how can you spend your money on something that's going to give experiences? Because there's all kinds of research that shows money spent on experiences brings more happiness and value to people than money spent on things, right? So the trip may be out right now, but what else could you spend money on? You could spend money on a ping pong table so that the family can play ping pong. And you might have a ritual now of a 20-minute ping pong game every night before or after dinner. You could buy a foosball table, right? You could buy a basketball hoop, even one of the portable ones, and stick it in the driveway so the family can play horse and shoot hoops together, right? You could buy baseball mitts and a baseball or a softball and play catch. Those kinds of activities that are also experiences make people happy, releases serotonin, makes us feel better. So share your time and share your money with others. Likewise, sharing your bounty, whether that's giving to a food bank or paying service providers that aren't able to provide service right now because of the shutdown, sharing your blessings is good for them, the person receiving it. It also fills your soul. Number 14, expressing gratitude. I've talked before with you guys that I do a gratitude journal, but when you just tell people how they've made a difference in your lives, not only is that good for the person who's hearing it, it's good for you. So it could be a gratitude journal about all the blessings in your life, but likewise, think about people who have made a difference in your life. Think about your mentors. Think about people who have inspired you. Pick up the phone and call them and tell them that, or write them a note and have them get that in the mail. As you share that appreciation, their soul is filled, and even more, your soul is filled. And this is all about chasing the COVID blues away. This is all about taking care of your mental health and expressing appreciation and expressing gratitude and writing that stuff out, understanding it, believing it, sharing it with others is going to fill your spirit, make you feel better, and make them feel better. Number 15, our last tip on chasing the COVID blues away is remembering that this is temporary and this too shall pass. And there will be a time where we look back on this time and know that we were better and stronger because of it, right? Practice these tips. Practice quiet and calm. Schedule some time each day. Focus on important projects. Put your family and loved ones first. Learn some new things. Continue and create new rituals. Express gratitude and express appreciation. We will all be healthier because of that. And there will be a time, a couple of years from now, we look back and we think of all the good that came out of this. Thank you.